Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm your emotional companion. Tonight's story comes from a listener's submission. It's a long story, but before we begin, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who seems to carry a constant wind within them, someone you can't hold onto? Someone who never really stops. They are bright, sincere, and kind, but when they love you, it somehow feels like they're not really loving you. They're in love with the feeling of being in love. Tonight's main character, will call her Ella. Ella is 33 years old. She was born into a very poor family. Her parents had her in their 40s. In that era, having a child at that age meant something very specific. Just as she was beginning to explore the world, her parents were already entering the later stage of their lives. Her father had a violent temper and showed signs of domestic abuse. Her mother was emotionally unstable. Growing up, she never experienced what it meant to talk things through, or what a warm home felt like. She was a child who grew up in the ruins of emotional chaos, fighting her way to survive. She had no safety net. By the time she got into university, her parents were already in their 60s. She worked to pay for her own tuition. After graduation, she continued to support her parents financially. She became both the economic and emotional pillar of her entire family. Because of this, she forged herself into someone incredibly independent, highly driven, resilient, confident, open, and kind. She's the kind of person who stands out in a crowd, not because of her looks. She describes herself as very average, 155 centimeters tall, under 50 kilograms, but because of a certain force, a refusal to give up, a refusal to bow, a constant upward drive. During her school years and early career, she was never single. One boyfriend after another, there was never a gap. She admitted that she was usually the one who made the first move, but also that she found it difficult to stay in love with one person for long. Her husband, we'll call him Mark. Mark is a typical engineer, 178 centimeters tall, decent looking, gentle, kind, a bit dull, not very romantic, but reliable. He hands over his entire salary. They met at a gathering with friends and got married after 2 years of dating. But Ella said something very honest and very cruel. She didn't really love Mark that much. She got married because everyone around her was getting married. She thought, why not? After marriage, she didn't stop. She continued interacting with other men. She would feel attracted to those who were handsome and clean-cut. She enjoyed the process of winning someone over. But when they started getting serious, when they began to fall for her, she would lose interest and walk away. Mark wasn't unaware. He just never confronted her. Later, they had a child. Mark's mother came to help take care of the baby. Ella admitted that during that time, she was very harsh toward both her husband and his mother. She said it was only after listening to programs like ours that she realized how much resentment and aggression she carried back then. Then one day, she met a younger man 6 years younger at a badminton court. We'll call him Liam. He's 183 centimeters tall, a master's student, clean-cut, and attractive. They quickly fell into a passionate relationship. Ella said that during that period, she had been exhausted from childbirth and marriage, looking worn out. But after being with Liam, she seemed to come back to life. Her complexion improved. She looked younger, more vibrant. The change was too obvious. Mark could no longer pretend not to see it. He didn't explode. Instead, he observed quietly for a few months before finally confronting her. The divorce terms he proposed, in many people's eyes, were almost too decent. They would divorce but continue living together, not tell either side of the family since both sets of parents were elderly, maintain the appearance of a family in public, and he would give her $2,000 per month for living expenses. And when Mark said all of this, Ella realized for the first time just how deeply she had hurt him. She said something that stayed with me. I think he's just unlucky to end up with someone like me, someone so restless emotionally. If he had found someone stable, maybe he could have lived a peaceful life. Now, she is in a good relationship with Liam. He is deeply in love with her, buys her gifts, and is willing to give a lot. But even so, Ella admits that when she sees other men she likes, she still feels the urge to flirt. She said, "I can like two people at the same time, sometimes even deeply. Someone like me, who is always shifting emotionally. Can I still get married? And if I do, how can I become faithful like others?" So let's pause here. I want to ask all of you listening, do you know someone like Ella? Or have you, at some point in your life, been like her, longing for love, but unable to stay? If you were Mark, how would you face a partner like this? If you were Ella, how would you face yourself? Let's return to her question. Can she still get married? And how can she become faithful? If you're listening right now, I want to say a few honest things to you. First, stop blaming yourself for being too active emotionally. You're not bad, you're tired. There is a very tired child inside you, one who has been fighting since she was young. She learned to seek love through conquest, through intensity. But now, you are no longer that little girl who needs to prove her worth through winning someone over. You are a 33-year-old woman who has held her life together on her own. You are capable of loving in a different way. Second, face the harm you've caused Mark. You say he's unlucky, but deep down, you also feel guilty. Guilt is an honest emotion. Use it. Let it help you pause and ask yourself, do you really want to keep running like this? No matter how far you run, can you outrun yourself? Third, if you still want a real, lasting relationship, give yourself a period of emotional stillness. Not just being single, but stepping away from the chase. Take that energy and turn it inward. Seek therapy, read, talk to people you trust. Try to understand one thing. What are you really afraid of? Finally, I want to say this: we all carry the shadows of our childhood into our relationships. Some people learn how to love, others learn how to defend themselves. Ella's restlessness was once her survival tool in a harsh environment. But tools, when used too long, can start to hurt us. She doesn't need to become a boring person. She only needs to learn one thing. When the passion fades, when the novelty disappears, when life reveals its ordinary truth, can she sit quietly beside someone without being driven by fear, without being pulled by emptiness? Faithfulness is not a restriction. It is a capacity one that naturally emerges when you feel safe inside. That's all for tonight's story. If you feel like you can't stop in love, maybe what you don't need is another person to fall for. You need someone who can hold you, including the part of you that cannot stop. This is Lighthouse Stories. Thank you for listening. May you be gently held by your own kindness tonight. Good night.